Hello, hello, Dante Spector here. I'm the lead scripter for the Dwarfins community building game in Second Life. And I'm here to give you a video walkthrough of the Dwarfins Sim, allowing you to find all the places you need to find and have the most enjoyable time while you're here. So without further ado, let's get started. You'll notice the Dwarfins Sim is divided into two parts. You have the forest on the left here and the city of Stonehaven on the right. The city is where you're going to find all the vendors for working with your Dwarfins as far as fun activities to do while you're on the sim. So let me move you into where you're going to be if you first TP into the sim. And this is the view you will have. So the city can seem a little daunting at first. There's a lot to see, a lot to look at. So we've developed a couple items to help you find your way around a little more easily. My personal favorite is right over here on this pillar, and this is the Dwarfins Sim Navigation HUD. And basically this HUD attachment gives you a map overview of the sim along with words that you can click to get you where you need to go. The other item for getting around here quickly is this signpost, and clicking on any one of these individual signs will get you to where you need to go as well. New users as well as existing users might find a lot of information here at the Information Center. If you're looking to play our Dwarfins Gym game, this is the vendor for it here. It is free to play. Clicking that board will get you a gem bag that you can attach and run around the sim like crazy collecting piles of gems. And once you've collected enough of the right types, you can build your very own gem Dwarfin. If you put Dwarfins in your picks, you can add. You can click this board here and be entered into the raffle for the weekly drawing. This happens every Saturday at noon, and that's worth 2,500 lindens that you can spend any way you like on the Dwarfins Sim, including food. So that's a plus. Here we have the FAQ and website links for you to get to, and a redelivery terminal in case something went wrong. Heaven forbid, right? If you want to check us out on Flickr or Twitter or Facebook, these are the prims you need to click to get there. If you are new to Dwarfins and have not yet joined the group, you really need to do so. You'll be missing out. And in fact, you can get some free group gifts just by joining here. We got a chair and a campfire and a couple of free Dwarfins. That's a bonus. There are available mini markets for the Dwarfins out there, and you can find a list of the premier affiliates that we have here. You can even find auctions as well. If you have the artistic bent, you can try our Picture of the Week contest. Enter to win here. And if your picture wins, you will end up on the front page of the Dwarfins website. So that's kind of awesome. Ooh. Again, if you are new to Dwarfins, you'll probably want to start out with a starter pack. And they come in a variety of sizes, so you can pick the one you really need. As well, you definitely want to pick up a Dwarfins HUD. Now this comes in the starter pack, so don't worry about that, but in case you bought a Dwarfin some other route, you can pick up a HUD here. The HUD allows you to command multiple Dwarfins at once, so if you want to send a bunch of Dwarfins off to mine, that's exactly what you need to have to do so. If you're into the genetic side of Dwarfins, you definitely want to get a family tree HUD. By just clicking a Dwarfin, you can see 3 generations of that Dwarfin's traits all in front of you. Plus it gives you the Dwarfins HUD right there in the bottom right corner, so that's a bonus item for that as well. Going on down the road here, if you have Dwarfins, of course you need to feed those Dwarfins. We wouldn't want them to petrify. So this is the default food for Dwarfins, is the hams. Hams come in a variety of sizes, of course, from feeding one Dwarfin for 1 week to a ham of epic proportions that will feed multiple Dwarfins at a time. Let's just scoot around the corner. You may or may not have seen Dwarfin interactives. These are basically objects that you set out, and the Dwarfins will come up and interact with them. And they come in multiple types. If you want a Dwarfin interactive, or in this section here, standalone items as well as buildings can be found here. Campfires, kegs that they get drunk at, fireplaces, magic books to create magical spells. And there are other ways to get interactives that aren't listed here, but you have to send your Dwarfins to mine to get them, just so you know. We mentioned ham for feeding your Dwarfins. Well, that's not the only way to do so. You can also grow your own food. And the gardening plot is one way to do so. To do that, you would pick up a garden plot over here, and then of course the next logical step is what do you want to plant in that garden. So right here is your list of or your vendor for garden seeds. The seeds come in one of 8 different varieties. Pick as many as you want or as little as you want. They come in 6-packs, single packs, variety packs, and just be aware that every plant type delivers a certain amount of meal, so you'll need to incorporate that into your planning. Garden plots also need water to make the plants grow, so you can do that in one of two ways. You can pick up this water bucket. This is free, and you can get one every 3 days. That'll feed up to, or water up to 6 plants, up to 100%. So if you've got one garden plot, that's a great way to do it, to water your garden. But if you've got more, or you just don't want to be bothered with coming to the sim to get a bucket, you can pick up this never-ending well, and that will feed as many garden plots as you've got. It'll fill them all up. If you're in a rush, or just maybe the impatient type, you can pick up an Instagrow flask here. This will grow any plant that you've got in one of your garden plots to 100%, no matter what percentage it was before you clicked it. So that's a real time saver right there. Moving on up the road, another subject that we have to cover is that Dwarfins give you Dwarfin gold. If you ever return to Dwarfin, you'll know that Dwarfin gave you the gold that it had on its person, his or her person, and there are other ways to get gold that are beyond the scope of this video. But if you find you've got gold on your on your player account and don't know what to do with it, up here is the gold vendors, and you can get role play items, buildables, interactives, starter packs, miscellaneous items. All of these can be bought with gold, and you can get the gardening and fishing items as well with gold, so that's a bonus. We mentioned that or maybe I didn't mention it, the Dwarfin Sim is one giant circle, so we're coming to the top of the circle here. And this isn't a vendor item, of course, but this is definitely a stop on your visit that you should check into, and it's the Dwarfins Castle. This is where the upper echelon live, the Dwarfins royalty. Let's just have a peek and see what they're doing. So they're having a big meal and being entertained by jesters. That's awesome. Oh, looks like one had a little too much ale. But you know, that's what Dwarfins do, so that's okay. Let's head on out and go on down the other side of the circle in the city here. Now you may notice off to your right here, as a frame of reference of where we are, that's the starter area again, where we started out. And we, the Dwarfins creators, like to put out our builds once they're done in a final form, so folks can know what they're getting. So this is another little spot where quite a few of them are. And here's, for instance, the tavern, the buildable tavern. A few of the buildable huts are here as well. And we just released the Back to Schoolhouse, which is a special edition, limited time. So if it's not there when you arrive, we apologize. It seems the time was over. We mentioned gardening, and for growing your own food, and fishing is another way of doing so. So just like with the garden plot, you'll need to pick up a fishing pond that you can put your fish into. Over here is the vendors for the fish bags. So you would pick an anchovy or a sardine or one of 6 types and put into your fishing pond. Just like that the gardens need water, the fishing ponds need fish food, and you can get a free bag of fish food every 3 days. Or you can pick up the never-ending fish food bag, and that will alleviate all worries of ever having to come back to the sim to get a fish bag. And just like the gardening has Instagrow, we have a hasty grow for fish as well. So get your fish all the way up to 100% right away if you want to. For those with a hands-on feel for life and want to try out the fishing for themselves, we offer a brand new release fishing game. You can see one of our players here trying it out. And the vendors for that are right over here. In the bottom left, you're going to find the starter rod, which allows you to try out the game for free. It doesn't allow adding bait to the rod or leveling up per se, or catching any type of fish besides a common fish, but it is free and it gives you a good feel for how the game works. If you're ready to go full bore, you can get the Dwarfins Mastercaster fishing rod here, and that'll allow you to do everything you want to do as far as using bait, fish up to a level 100. Any type of fish you can possibly fish up can be caught with this rod. And any kind of prize that comes with it. There are a lot of prizes in that fishing game, so it's definitely worth doing. There's an instruction note card if you want to read more about it, and of course the 3 different types of bait that you can apply to your master caster rod. If you do want to do the fishing, you need to find a spot on the shore here that has a buoy by it, but it isn't just this one. The whole sim is covered with these buoys as far as on the coastline, so anywhere you want to fish that's by water, you basically can do so. We got a little off track, so I'm going to scoot right back into the city here. Again, We are now right where we started at, the TP-in locations, just for frame of reference. And I'm going to go down this road here. And this wall ahead of us, you can either go over it, or you can find this hole in the wall here and scoot through it. Take an immediate right, and what you'll end up with is the avatar and roleplay supply area. And if you've ever seen anybody walking around with a Dwarfins avatar on, pretty much the only way to get one, except for winning one, is to come here into this area and pick one up. You can customize an avatar as much as you like, so if you don't like the beard, go get a new beard from a marketplace and slap it on. The sky's the limit, or you can go as little as you want to. And if you've seen any avatars flying around on flyable dragons, this is probably the ones that they got. You can find them here. They come in a variety of colors, and they are uber cool and will make you the envy of all your friends, I promise. So let's scoot back to where we were, into the forest here. The forest doesn't have any vendor locations in it, but it is packed full of really nifty things to go and see and to spend your time. Beautiful locations to see as well. Little village scenes and so forth. Maybe give you ideas for how to set up your Dwarfin village on your own parcel. And if you dive deep enough into the forest, you may come across Snow White and the 7 Dwarfins. So that about does it for the Dwarfin video walkthrough, the Dwarfins Sim walkthrough. From all of us at Dwarfins, we thank you for playing the Dwarfins and making it a part of your life. We hope you enjoyed the video and hope you have a great day. This is Dante Spector, signing off.